Hello, everyone. Glad to see everyone. If y'all are watching this on replay, um, this is just going to be like a free for all, I guess. We're gonna talk about a couple of cases, and also I have Alex that's going to join me, um, and also we're going to also talk about um, what we're going to do in the future on um, this channel and Alex's channel. We're going to discuss the support groups, and we hope that you enjoy it. Um, the cases that I want to talk about tonight is going to be the Stephen Avery case. Just touch on it a little bit, and the Darlie Routier case. We're going to touch on that a little bit. Hi, Erwin. How are you? Aloha. I bet it's beautiful there. You're going to have to send some pics so that we can put them up. And Alex is here. There she is.
Hello.
I cannot hear, so I am going to fix that.
Can anybody hear me?
See,
Hi, Urban. Hi, Mark.
okay, because I'm having trouble here. I cannot hear you at all, Alex.
What in the world?
Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. We're good to
Maybe this
go.
time on. Okay, good.
How are you
How
this
are you
evening?
guys? I'm doing good. You look nice.
Thank you. Me and my hair was wet. I just come in all soaked. So, can you see the chat?
Yep, I can. I have to choose to either look at chat or look at you, but I'm just gonna go back and forth.
Urban's here.
Hi, Urban. I said hi, but I don't know if he could hear me or not because the sound thing. I think
Yeah,
so.
you sound good tonight.
Thank you.
I'm so glad I have my laptop for this. So, but yeah, we're gonna talk a little. Irvin, did you look up that case about Thomas? Did you find everything that you needed? I didn't know if you would or not.
Yeah, you got a lot of support in my comments and messages after that video, which was awesome to see.
Good. I'm gonna do a documentary on it. Um, I'm gonna go home soon, and I'm gonna do a documentary while I'm there. So,
Oh,
and I
that'll be
think
awesome.
um, Alex is gonna help me a little bit on that. Hopefully.
Yeah, I can. Oh, I'm definitely will. That'll be great. I can't wait.
He says he can hear us good. He was munching on ice cream. Oh, you need the case number. I will um, get the case number for you. I forgot about that. Um, but I will get that for you. And I mean, the case is still open. So um, maybe I can get a case number. I'll just call the detective that's in charge of it, and I will get one um, through him. I'm sure he will give it to me. So, but
Definitely
all
will
the
do that.
information on the case is what you can look up, what you can Google, because any information, like as far as the um, any case files or anything, they will not release anything because the case is still an open case. So, and but I will try my best. I will call him tomorrow and see if I can get it.
No rush. Just, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He says, case being open might be a reason why a third party like me can't obtain. Yeah,
Yeah.
it. But I'll see. I mean, I'll see what the detective will give me. I know the last time that, I mean, he couldn't give me anything. I had information that he took from me. So, um, as far as I'm going to go to his school teachers, I'm going to the school teachers, I'm going to the principal, and I'm going to ask, why didn't they uh, say something or do something about this child only coming to school 1 or 2 days a week? I want
Yeah,
to know.
they should have. I wonder if the same people are there or if they're not.
Oh, yeah. There is a lot of them still there, and I know a lot of the teachers personally. So, I mean, I can just I'll look them up and go to their houses.
Yeah,
So,
that's what we should definitely do. That would be awesome, especially for that documentary. I think that would be interesting to see what they all have
yes,
to say.
and I mean, like the judge there, we if we we had a problem, we could go and knock on his door.
Yeah.
We could. I mean, it was those people are amazing, and the sheriff that is there now, and I've known him for almost my whole life. So
Nice.
I'm gonna see if I can't get him to do an interview with me. And even the retired sheriff that was sheriff at the time, he told me he would do an interview with me for the documentary. So
Oh, interesting. Oh, Irvin commented. That'd be really cool.
find out their school policies. Yes, yes, I will sure do. I can find that out tomorrow for you.
And if you do, you should ask if anything's changed. Have the rules changed as far as when they contact CPS and stuff like that?
Right. Yes,
Since that happened.
I can find that out for you tomorrow, Irvin. I sure can. And I have a Discord. Irvin, I will send you an invite to my Discord. And I think, Alex, you're setting you up one also, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm setting one up, and yeah, because when we were talking about doing different support groups and stuff, the only group, which I have a Facebook group about crime, and I didn't know anything about Discord, and then Cheryl told me, and so I'm going to explore it some, and we want to do some stuff over there. Which I was thinking, Cheryl, I think we should do both rooms, yours and mine, and make them about two different things, like topics, so people can,
Mm-hmm.
go back and forth. I don't know. I mean, we don't know. This is just a baby idea, but what do you think about that?
Yes. Well, like our chat heads are going to be in there, and everybody else's will be too. All you have to do is to go even back and forth. You can um, direct message, private message, or you can public. You have your room to where you can be in a room together, all of us, at
Hmm.
any time we want to be. I will have a public room, and Alex will have a public room. And then
That'll
you
be awesome.
Yeah, and then you can have each individual. Uh, you can break it down to each individual rooms to where that you can have your people. You have to have someone in charge of it, you know, um, so that they will be linked to that specific topic. But yeah, you can. I mean, we can have as many as you want in there. I think.
That'll be awesome. Well, I downloaded the app. I have to do some exploring on there. Yeah, I'm only hearing of it now too, Urban, but I wanted to post and see kind of like how many other people who watch my channel are on that app or have used it before. And also how many people are into doing like Facebook groups, or do people not really, get into that? I'm curious to find out what people are on.
Right. Right. Yes, and we're going to need some volunteers, Irvin, to do that. And I mean, even if we get into one, you know what I was thinking? Like, I told you, like, if it's somebody has a problem or anything, they can just hop on there and they can ask somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would like to start one too, where like if maybe there's single moms out there and something happens around their house, and they need to hop on there and ask somebody, do you know how to do this? This happened, you
That
know.
is a cool idea.
Right.
And you would be you would be perfect for that. I would even be in there asking for advice because you have all the good advice, all the good tricks, and all the good.
It's because I'm old. That's why.
No, you raised your kids by yourself, and you did a really good job. I mean, you told me you took them hunting, and all these different things, which is so cool. And you did it all by yourself.
I did, and I just and my two boys, you can see, you can look at both my kids, and they never had a male influence in their life until my husband come along, and they were 12 and 14
Oh my gosh!
when he come along. So, and me and him, we've been together ever since. But
Wow.
and his mother was my babysitter when my kids were little, but I didn't know that was his mother.
Nuh-uh. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah, me and my husband's known each other since I was in fourth grade and he was in second grade. So,
Mhm. Well,
yeah.
that worked out because if y'all wanted to go on a date, his mom would watch him for you.
Yeah, except they were, too old by
Yeah,
by the time. They were trying to babysit us at that age. They were. No,
yeah,
but
they
I
get
didn't want
to
my kids.
that age where they think they know you more than you.
Yes, they do. They get there at that age to where they do, and now my kids are trying to act like that I'm their child, since they're grown. So, but
It's sad I didn't have a mother growing up. Your kids and I are opposite. Oh, Irvin, that's so sad. I'm
oh, you didn't
sorry.
have a mother growing up? Oh,
That's awful. Well,
did
you
you
turned
have?
out. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did you have someone that kind of filled that role, or was that role just kind of empty?
I was gonna say you turned out. Seems like you turned out pretty good anyway. So turned out awesome,
Yeah.
kind and caring and all that stuff, compassionate and not judgmental and friends with everybody and all that good stuff.
Yes, I noticed that too. Yes, Irvin's he's taking some backlash for it too. I've seen that, but he just stands his own. He stands right up there. But we're all going to take backlash at some point. So,
Sometimes for things we do, sometimes for things we don't do.
well, he said not until he was already a man.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Irvin. But you turned out like that. You were raised pretty good. And some kids have to raise themselves and they turn out pretty good anyway. But in spite of, and they want to make a difference, in their kids' lives. Like both of my sons, my oldest son, he's been married for almost 20 years, and both of them are making sure that they are a good influence on their kids and they're close to their kids, and I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud. They are really good dads, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I've thought about it with my oldest because his dad is not really in the picture. He's went years at a time without ever calling him and stuff. And it makes me wonder, like, well, I hope that doesn't affect the kind of parent he'll be. And I don't think it will because he's a great kid and I think it'll make him an even better parent. You know what I mean? I think but it does make you think about that stuff.
Mm-hmm. It does. And when my kids were younger, I did everything that I could to make sure that um, that they didn't want for that, because I was just so afraid that their dad, just being a deadbeat, was just going to, affect them, through their lives. So I tried to make up for it by being both parents. And I didn't realize until they were grown that that was a good thing. Um, Me trying to make up for it and being both parents made a big difference to them. And
Mm,
so I am very proud of that.
that's awesome. That is really awesome. That's super
And
cool.
it says, Irvin says that it was a bumpy road. Honestly, I was an addict and been locked up for a bit, but it took a while for me to settle down. Wow. So you've been
Well,
locked up and then straightened your life up and didn't go back, right?
I think a lot of times we end up being on drugs because we want to cover up some kind of pain or emotions, or, we just want to feel good. We just don't want to stress. We want to just, you know, be quote unquote normal and happy and all that stuff. Um, and then you go through the hard times of getting off drugs and then being in jail. Well, I'm sure when you come out the other side, that's what makes you such an amazing person, because you really have struggled and you've had hard times. So now that's a good, to be thankful in the good times and stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And yes, there's plenty that a lot of us aren't proud of. And I was wild. I was really wild, but
Mhm.
and I'm not proud of it. But it's part of who I am now. And um, I did. I took a road. I took a road of taking a lot of pills when my grandson died, and I just kept taking more and more and more, and I had to snap out of it. I had to get up
Mhm.
and start functioning again because it was unacceptable to with my family, and they just gave me an a choice. They gave me a choice. I could pick them, or I could pick dying,
Yeah.
and I wasn't dying, so they tell me, you're not dying, you haven't died, and so now you have a choice to pick us or to move forward. And so I guess I chose to move forward. I'm still
Mhm.
here, and I'm not
And
doing
that's
pills
awesome.
anymore.
And
So
that's awesome. I'm proud of you. And Irvin, thank you for saying that so much. I'm proud of you too for your sobriety, and I'm proud of you too, Cheryl. I think you're awesome. You are a good wife, an awesome friend. When I was going through it a few weeks ago, I mean, you really, really helped me, and you were it was just so nice to have somebody there to talk to and just vent to. And you're an awesome grandma, you're an awesome mom, and you work all the time. You should be proud
thank
of
you,
yourself.
thank you. I don't work all the time. I mean, a few hours, but I don't work very much.
You work like every day, every weekday.
And I don't didn't want to. I used to be a workaholic. Um, my life has just been something else. My little cousin, she said that she was going to write a book on it. So, but my life has just been like a roller coaster, up and down. Up and down through rough, bad times, good times, and it just seems like I sit there and look at everybody else, and I'm like, oh my gosh, then I'm not going to tell all of mine. One thing, everybody else tell one thing bad, that happened. I'm like, well, I've got all these things, I guess. But yeah,
That's funny.
it's because I was a
Hey,
wild.
Wolfie.
Hello, Wolf. It's good to see you. We're just kind of like chatting.
Chit-chatting.
Yeah, we're just chit-chatting a little bit. Talking about,
But you know what? All the hard times, all the struggles, that's what makes you even more wise and more like of a beautiful person. I swear, when you heal from some kind of anything, in the moment it feels like it's destroying you. But afterwards, when you move on and you're better, it just makes you better. It really does. It's what makes us like who we are and so special.
right, it does make us who we are. And once once you heal from it, and then you kind of settle a little bit, then you start realizing the blessings that you have and how much easier today is going to be than what yesterday was, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I had to put one foot in front of the other, you know, one foot in front of the other to battle depression. It was depression that was more than any drug or anything. It was horrible. I was clinically depressed for a while.
Mm.
And it's hard to pick yourself up out of that. It really is.
Did you use medication or anything? Did they
Yeah,
give you anything?
I used medications and they made me feel worse. And I just had to make my mind up to do it on my own.
Yeah.
I had to. I had to heal. And I knew that my grandson would not want me where I was.
Mm.
And that's what brought me out of it.
Because that's what made you get into the depression, right? When your grandson passed.
Well,
so sorry to hear all that.
yeah, my youngest son got in trouble, and then my grandson died, and that pushed me right over the edge. It just,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I need to stop crying.
No, sometimes you just need to cry.
Yeah,
Sometimes you need to let it out. And anybody, I mean, that's something that is hard to go through. I can't imagine. There's nothing worse than losing a child or or burying little ones in general. But there's nothing worse than that. It's just unnatural, So,
yes, it is hard, but you still, you're still here, and you still have to put that one foot in front of the other to get out of it sometimes. And that's what I did every day. I was not going to step backwards. I was going to put one foot in front of the other, no matter what. And I did.
Did you ever try grief counseling or anything like that?
No, I didn't do the grief counseling. I tried the medication, but it made me feel worse, so I had to get off of that. It was just focusing on what Kyron would have wanted for me.
Yeah, that's awesome though that he kind of pulled you out of that.
Yeah. And my kids, beating me in the head, going, "Wake up, Mom!" Yeah, my kids was a big push. My daughter-in-law, she gave me the best pep talks. She was like, you've got to get out of this because you've got you've got other grandbabies that need you. And it took a little while, but I finally listened, and I wouldn't trade it for the world because my grandkids are just wonderful. I just love them to pieces, and I wouldn't take for any of them, not any of them.
That's
So,
sweet. Irvin, you said that addiction is tough because you feel alone and ashamed. Oh my gosh, that's exactly how I was, and I'll never forget. My dad would always tell me, like, if you're lying about something, that means that you're not proud of it, then you shouldn't be doing it. And then once I got clean, and I was like, wait a minute, like, I don't have to hide anything. I don't have, like, it just felt so good to be, like, proud of everything that I did, to where it almost felt like unnatural. I don't know. It's crazy. And then the second part of your comment about building a community could help a lot of people. Would that not be so awesome? Can you imagine, like, if it really did help people get off drugs, I mean, that would save lives. Because I can tell you, I've lost like so many. I swear, probably like a very high percentage of my graduating class. Because I'm in West Virginia. The opioid epidemic hit really, really hard here. And it has taken so many of my friends and my friends' parents and my friends, older brothers. And it's destroyed the community completely. So if it could help something like change that around, oh my gosh, that would just be amazing. And then he said it's that you can cry and vent to him anytime.
Oh no, that's so sweet. You're so sweet. I know Wolfling's in here. He's not commenting. He probably thinks. But we were going to talk about a couple of cases tonight. I don't know. It's just because the Innocence Project, the two cases that I just wanted to touch on. I don't know if anyone is following the Stephen Avery case or the Darlie Routier case. But the Innocence Project has picked both of those cases up. So we should be hearing something with those cases in the coming months, because in 2021 they're supposed to do something about both of those.
So what is the Innocence Project? Is that like a foundation that helps people who are wrongly convicted? Or?
Yes, that's exactly what they are. You're exactly right. That's exactly what they are.
The name kind of gives it away.
Yeah. And Stephen Avery, he spent 18 years in prison for a crime that he didn't commit. He was out for a couple of years. And then a photographer went missing. And lo and behold, their wrecking yard was the last place that she was seen. And the Innocence Project and a lot of people think that he was framed again, in which that's my opinion. I mean, I think that he is innocent.
So is that the guy from Netflix, Making a Murderer?
Yes.
I never watched that, but I remember seeing it everywhere.
Yes, you need to watch that because it's amazing.
So you think he's innocent?
I think he's innocent. Yes, because they arrested him the day before he was supposed to go for his hearing on that lawsuit where he was suing them for the 18 years he was locked up. He ended up getting not one dime. He settled because his lawyers needed money, and he settled for the amount that the lawyers were charging. So that's what throws it off for me. I mean, Urban says that if we can help at least one person, that he will be extremely happy.
That's how I feel. One person, I mean, that would be amazing. Even just one.
Yes, one.
But you know what? I was thinking, like, if I could build my platform big enough where I could create, like, where I could start some kind of like recovery foundation or something, and I could, create merchandise and sell it and put like a percentage of the profits up into, like, just turning the money around for charity in different ways. I would love to do that. I've seen that. There's a creator on TikTok, and they do like, now I don't know if they donate to any charities, but like they started a store where they sell recovery merchandise. Some of it's clothes, jewelry, all kinds of different stuff with different slogans and sayings, and they are like blowing up, really popular. And if I could do something like that, but then even turn a percentage of the profits into charity, like, oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it though? I think that would. I think you would be perfect for something like that.
Maybe one day we'll do it.
These people took baby steps. You take baby steps, you can do anything. You just start out small and you build, and you can. Do you notice that when you start off small and you build on it, then you can handle volumes?
Yeah, you're right. if you take it slow and just do a little bit at a time.
You don't realize how much you're adding, and you keep adding and keep adding. But
So I
that's
have a
how.
question
Go ahead.
about the Stephen Avery thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where does his when he was all over the news and the documentary was like really popular, you would see his like nephew all over the news or some young guy. Who is
Uh-huh.
that? Isn't his name Brandon or Brandon or something? So
Brandon.
what role does he play in the whole story?
He said that's why Stephen got convicted was he was 16 years old, and they got a confession out of him and had him sign a statement saying that he was involved and his uncle was involved, Stephen. And he went to prison also when he was 16.
Ooh.
And he is 30 something now, I think. And he was, and it was coerced. I mean, there was no an adult there. There was no lawyer. There was no ad litem person. You know, this child should never have been interrogated without some kind of an adult there with him.
Yeah,
At all.
and then Nicole Kessinger who gets to sit with her daddy.
Right. Right.
Crazy.
Yes. It doesn't make sense, does it?
No. It's
And
just
then-
like there's young boys in that race there there was a Netflix documentary about those 4 kids in New York who were wrongfully accused of like a rape. And they forced them to they coerced them, forced them to say things that weren't true, kept their parents from the rooms, lied to their parents to keep them from being able to stand up for them and different things. I mean, they do some dirty stuff. It makes you wonder how many people that are in jail are actually innocent. I would really love to know, I know they're all innocent once they're in there. They all didn't do it, but the real innocent people. I'd be very curious to find out how many were.
Right. I mean, I think that we'd probably be shocked because, and that's why the death penalty. I mean, it's the death penalty is something that I sit on the fence about because of all the innocent people that had been put to death. I just don't think I could have that carrying on my back. I just don't. I just don't. It's not my place to do that, and I just don't think that I could do that. I mean,
yeah, I go back and forth too. I don't know because I think of some people like Lakeisha Stout or Megan Boswell.
right.
That's you dirty. You deserve it.
I mean, like, if it happened to somebody close to me like that, they wouldn't need the death penalty.
I know what you mean.
I wouldn't put anyone in that position to have to decide that for me because I'll decide it for them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm being truthful. But I just don't think that I could have that as a juror. It just seems like that would be the hardest thing that you would have to do. I just think it would be.
You know what? I bet it does make the jury. Okay, so say they're doing a case like, let's just say Lakeisha Stout. I don't know if they're going after death. I think that I know it's not, in Colorado, they're not doing it anymore, but if the crime happened before a certain date, they may still be eligible. But let's just say that she is, okay? And then we have a jury in there, and they have to decide if we say she's guilty, she's going to die. So does that make them more likely to go for not guilty? You know what I mean? Because they're worried that they don't want to convict and then be putting someone to death.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. No,
It could make them more likely to go for a not guilty or something like that.
Well,
If
I think that the jury, during the jury selection, I think that they have to, that's a turning point. I think they have to be willing to set aside the feelings and do. I
yeah,
think I think that's why that they do it. Okay, they do the guilty, not guilty first, and then it goes into the sentencing phase. If it's a death, yeah, it's a death penalty case, then they go into the sentencing phase.
and the
And
judge decides, right, or does the jury decide?
The jury decides on the sentencing phase also.
Oh, okay. So it must be
Unless,
different from place to place. Yeah.
unless that they cannot agree, and then I think that's when the judge steps in on the sentencing phase if the jurors cannot agree. I think so.
Okay, I see.
You see my gloves?
Mm-hmm.
Because my hands are burned. If anybody ever wants to know, I'm just telling. Because somebody will say something about it. They'll want to know, why are you wearing gloves?
Do you put ointment under them or what?
Well, yeah, it's a special cream that stretches your skin.
Oh, wow.
That
Okay.
helps to stretch your skin because your skin has to stretch. Otherwise, like if you take them out of the gloves and you don't have the cream on them, my hands will draw up.
How much longer do you have to wear them?
Well, hoping only another month, because they're only drawing up in the palms now. My fingers and stuff are not drawing up anymore. They are totally stretched out. So, and I just feel it in my palms. So hopefully another month. I've been like working on it like extra hard. So
good. Well, I hope you get them off too, because I know that's probably aggravating when you're hot.
It's been it's been over a year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's been over a year, and it's been a long, rough road. Really rough. And one of the things that, the most, you wouldn't believe it in a million years, but one of the most difficult things about it is when it starts healing, it starts itching, and that will drive a person insane.
I bet. I know what you mean though, because anyone kind of does that. They start itching when it's healing. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And then on your hands, on your palms and stuff. Oh, I bet that would drive you crazy.
And they had to give me like medicine, for my nerve endings. So, and that helps with that. So, but Urban said that he had to fix his connection, so I guess it's just me and you. I don't know. Is Wolflink still in here?
I think so, but I don't know if they're typing. But I'm not sure. But that's all right. What's the other case that you wanted to talk about besides the
Darty Routier? Do
right.
you know anything about it?
I do know some about it, but I haven't, like, the things that I know are from, like, documentaries and movies on television that are old. I mean, I watched them years ago. I haven't watched any of the recent information. All I know is, she's sleeping with her two boys. She comes to, and there's either an intruder or she's been actually convicted of killing the boys, and then her throat was slit, right? And she had like a lot of things. And wasn't there a sock found up the road with their blood on it?
Yes.
So how could she have done it?
I don't have. I mean, that right there, the sock gets me. My theory. My theory is not. I mean, I don't know who's. My theory is that her husband put somebody up to stealing his car for insurance, and then was going to, and also tried to get someone to come in and break into his house for insurance. So I'm thinking that he did this for insurance, but Darlie was the target. She was meant to die that night, and her two boys woke up and recognized the person that come in there, and then that's when it went wrong.
Mm.
That's what I
Yeah.
believe. I
What
mean,
about, they say that there was blood over the sink, like if she had slit her throat over the sink. What do you think about that?
I think that I'm confused about that. They said, well, they said it was cleaned up,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I think that it's when she was going and getting towels is when I think she bled over the sink.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't cleaned up. It was just watered down from the people being in and out of there. And that's what I think.
Mm.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I just don't think that they gave her a fair shake. And a lot of it was based on her doing the silly screen.
Yes. Wolfie says that she did it, in my opinion. But yes, the silly string. People were like, why is she smiling like that and at the birthday? But in my opinion, I think that people don't understand how awkward it is to be filmed when you're not used to it, or to be on
Well, they
camera.
don't even. It was
Then
a
you're going through, the death, and then it's a birthday thing. So I just think they're being too judgmental and harsh, because think about it, even with you, the first time you went live, how awkward you felt. You don't even know how to act. And then plus, most people haven't been through that, so they don't know how they would act. I think you can't say she's guilty because of that.
and they can't say, and they can't. I just don't understand what her motive would have been. I think Darren had a motive, but she did not have a motive. And Wolflink, tell us your opinion of what is it. What makes you think that she did it?
Yeah, I'm curious to know.
Yeah, I'm interested because there is. I mean, there for a long time. I mean, I thought that she was guilty. I mean, at first, and then the Innocence Project picked it up, and then I started hearing about all these things, and then I saw those bruises on her.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks like defensive wound. I mean, defensive.
I mean, she was bruised.
See, I used to go on the blood evidence too. I mean, but then when it was broken down, and I heard from both sides, I think that it is no cuts on her feet because of that glass that. But we don't know the order of that either. I mean,
what about the sock down the road, Wolf? How do you that's the thing that makes me think, that does not make
sense. Down the road, yeah. Link, do you know how that happened? Do you know how equivalent to Baby Shark? So do you know how the sock got down the street? Because I can't remember how that they were saying that got down the street.
I don't think they ever said. It was a sock with blood on it, and Darlie had never left. The kids had, no one had left. So I don't think that they had an explanation for that. Not that I saw. It's such a small amount she put out before. Oh, she put the sock out. Okay.
Before she cut her throat. Yeah. But, I mean, everything, I don't know. And
what do you think about the bruises on her, Wolf? How did those bruises were, oh my gosh, they were so bad.
Those bruises were ungodly. That was something else.
They did say the wound on her neck was not very deep, right? It was like
yes, it was 1 centimeter from cutting her main artery, and that means that it had a scratch on the artery itself, but it didn't cut all the way through.
Oh my gosh! It scratched. Oh my God, that is
That's
crazy.
how close that was. So who is going to cut their throat that close and not kill themselves? You follow the money. The money was on Darley's head, $450,000.
Mm.
On the two kids, they didn't have much life insurance on them, but I think Darley was the target. And after, I mean, and I
Mm.
right, yeah, my son is too, Wolfling. Ambidextrous. I can't already say it, but yeah, I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, on that, the I mean, the hand thing did, but she's not. She wasn't both left and right handed. Right, 5,000 each kid. Yeah, that's not much. And I just don't understand what Darley's motive would have been. I
Oh
think that
my
the
God.
price, the insurance, he just upped it to. Darren just upped her insurance not long before this happened. And I did believe she was guilty at first. And then I started looking at all this and putting it together. And the insurance money, I mean, was on her head. Darren was not touched. He didn't hear anything until she started, she was screaming for him. And she screamed for him for a long time before he even um, come downstairs.
Well, what did they say about? Oh gosh, there was something that I saw. I can't remember, but about when the babies passed. Like, how did that happen? Were they like they were alive for a little bit, a few minutes or some? Well, because the blood evidence. Tell me that part. Do you know where they were stabbed? How long they lived after? And what the blood evidence was
Um,
from that?
um, Gosh, they were stabbed a lot. I know that. Let me think which one it was. Was it the? I think it was the youngest one. Was alive at still alive, and the ambulance was working on him. Um, but he died short. I mean, right there too. Um, the other one had already passed away. You're back. Irvin's
One
back.
dad right away. Damon, I think, was alive.
Damon, I think, was alive a little bit longer. Do you know how many times they were stabbed? I don't have my notes here. Um,
Knife went down.
yes, the knife. One of them was stabbed so viciously, the knife went plumb through him and down into the concrete.
Oh,
Is
hi, Jules. How are you? Thank you so much.
oh,
That is so. Oh my gosh,
thank
that's
you
hard to
so
hear.
much. Yes.
Oh, on the
It,
concrete. How did they know that? Did it break, or was there marks in the or did you, or did I don't know?
um,
Did they even say?
his autopsy um, showed the depth of the wound that it had to have went straight through him.
Wolf said the vacuum through blood gets me on her too. Now I do remember hearing something about like the vacuum had been ran, right, or something like that, or
Right. It wasn't. Wait a minute. It wasn't just knocked over or moved. It was
oh,
pushed through. It was rolled through the blood. Right.
okay,
But that could
yeah,
have been anyone that knocked it over and set it back up and then rolled it out of the way. One of the
yeah,
ambulance workers or somebody. Um,
not ran. Okay.
they could have, um, rolled it through the blood. Picked it up and then moved it by rolling it.
Oh my
And they just
God.
if they were in a hurry, it could have been the ambulance people. If they were in a hurry trying to work on these kids, then that's what I think. They knocked it over, picked it up, and then they pushed it and it rolled through the blood, and they weren't paying attention because they were in a hurry trying to help the kids. Is what I think.
Who would do that before?
Uh, Darren putting a person up there to come in, break in there, and kill Darley, and the kids woke up.
Well, I mean, to stab those babies to I mean, that is just so disturbing till it hits concrete. That
But they
makes
were,
me think,
if they were, yeah. But if they were there to kill Darlie and something went awry, and then I think they went in. I think it enraged them that everything got so out of hand,
that's
and
what
that,
I was going to say, because there'd have to be some kind of emotion for that. You're going to have to, they would have to be mad, or like, I could see, I don't know, or yeah, like you said, maybe they just want to make sure they die, but why wouldn't they just like slit their throats or something quick, and to sit there and stab them that hard? I don't know. That's really emotional. It seems
to pick
really
up that bush.
emotionally charged.
Hopefully, I don't understand what you're saying. Someone breaking in would not have be so careful to pick up and push. Are you talking about the vacuum cleaner? Because I think it was one of the EMT workers or somebody like that when they first came in, or the neighbor was in there. I mean, they could have knocked it over and then just pushed it out of the way and it rolled.
You guys know that
That's
in Canada there was a bill that passed recently that could affect us having these conversations. It has all to do with like it's censorship basically, and they can censor for their Canadian viewers and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of a big deal. It's got me wondering what will happen to like us, people who are making, because it's specifically for YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, like online social media. And they named YouTube in the bill, like, or in the article I read about the bill. So I don't know.
we're going to censor it.
Yeah, it's called C10, I think. You can look it up, but it's basically where they are going to start censoring online media, as it, like, I guess kind of like they do television, to make sure things are family friendly, or certain things aren't. They'll have the right to do that to social media.
I wonder what'll happen.
I don't know.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll link the questions that you have. I mean, I still have on the vacuum cleaner. I mean, I have kind of come up with that the EMT workers. That's all I can explain because, I mean, I went through every avenue there is. Now the blood over the sink thing, there was just so much about that was they said that it was cleaned up and then it wasn't cleaned up. It was just water was running it. But I know they went back and forth with towels, so that would dilute that. And the sock is what I can't get. The sock is what puzzles me. And Darren, I just think that I think that he's the one that did it. And I think Darlie has a pretty good idea that, I mean, that he could have had a hand in it because of that insurance thing that he was trying to, he got someone to steal his car, and then for insurance, and then he was soliciting for several people to break in his home. So, I mean,
is there evidence of that, like in the about him trying to get people to break in?
Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I've seen like a special on Investigation Discovery or something about it, but that's it. I've not looked into into it.
And on that Wolf Link, okay, like I went through that. They planned it kind of thing. All right. But if they planned it together, you think she's going to go to death row alone? Wouldn't she be speaking up and rolling on him? Instead, he divorced her and moved on with his life, got married again. Some other woman is raising her child. I just don't think I just don't think, you know what I mean? I think that she would do something there. And they wouldn't even, and Darren, Now I might be wrong. I could have my information wrong. Darren flunked a lie detector, and
Mm.
the lawyer that Darren paid for, like for Darlie, was his lawyer too. That should have been in conflict of interest right there, because the only other person that they could point to is Darren. He's the only one else in the house, and he's the one. They, if she'd have got someone else to defend her, they would have went after that. I bet you money they would have went after him doing it, because I think that um, he was in debt up to his eyeballs, and killing her would have got him out of it. And I do believe that. I mean, I'm sorry, that's my opinion, but I mean, I just used to put up that wall. She's guilty. She's guilty. I'm not going to look at anything else. And then, little by little, I kept hearing YouTube, here and there. And I started listening, and then I started digging into it. And then now, I do believe that she's innocent. And because I think that she didn't want to believe that Darren did it. I think in the back of her mind, she has her questions about that if he had something to do with it because of that. Yes, Wolflink. I've seen Dexter.
My gosh.
I love Dexter.
Me too. That is my all-time favorite show of all time. I've watched every season probably 10 times. I used to have it on DVD, plus it's on Netflix and Showtime. Oh my gosh, that's the best show ever.
It is. Walking Dead is my number one, but then Dexter's number two. Yeah.
I wish that Dexter wouldn't have ended. And it's like even the intro when he's like cutting up the pomegranate and like all the different things and shaving and like just the way they do it, it's so brilliant. That is one of the most brilliant shows of all time. That is so good.
It's amazing.
Blood evidence is everything. But
But I mean, sometimes they can have it wrong though. I mean, because of the crime scene. That's why I didn't really rely on. It was just the blood evidence for me at first. And then when I found out all of the people that were in the crime scene and the things that happened in that crime scene, the blood evidence kind of, I could overlook the blood evidence, I guess you could say. And then when the vacuum came in to play, and even the 911 call bugged me, but putting it overall, I just believe that it is the other one. I just think that it's Darren, because the way he even acted with the 911 call, and I think that he saw that he was going to get by with this, and he just went with. I mean, he just kept his mouth shut, because he did. They said that the lie detector thing was a big deal, but they went after her and they wanted her, and a lot of times, you've seen on a lot of other cases that they just, kind of...
They get tunnel vision. Right. They get focused on one person, and then that's it. I want to say that on Dexter, do you remember, did you see it was season 4 when he was with Rita, he was married to her, and then Rita was killed in the bathtub on the last episode, and his baby, oh my God, that's my favorite season of all time, but It's such a good show, but not to change the subject back to that. I love that show. Can't believe y'all watch it too.
I
Walking
know.
Dead used to be one of my favorites too, but my oldest son, Trenton, he was so scared of The Walking Dead. Like he would have nightmares about him and stuff.
Really?
So we quit watching it so much.
Oh wow. Um, yeah, I had a few nightmares watching that, but I watched a lot. Oh, you're learning about the case from us. Well, cool. Um, now the screen to cut out the fiber evidence on the screen on the knife in the butcher's block, but they didn't test it against. It was the way that they said it was. How did they put that? It was like fibers that was found from the screen. It wasn't. This is positive. It came from this screen. They didn't do that. That's what grabbed me at first. That's what I listened to was the fiber evidence, and then to come to find out that they really didn't test it to say yes, this came from this screen. That's right. Yes. Urban
The
buckles
Walking
up.
Dead was great too, Rick West. Yes, I know. Oh my gosh! Like up until like Lori was that episode where Lori was pregnant, and when that was like one of the best seasons. But after all that, like when all the originals were gone, then it just oh my gosh! When Rick's son died, oh, what's his name again? The little boy. That was oh my gosh, great show.
Yeah, Urban. I mean, there was a lot of stuff on the case that wasn't really done properly. Like they should never have allowed. I don't know. I guess Darren having to pay for Darlie's lawyer. That is where I think that Darlie made the mistake because I think that she would have. I just think that if nothing else, she deserves another trial. That's what I want is another trial for her to go back in there and let's do this again and let's see what comes up because of all that evidence. Oh, I lost Alex. I guess I lost Alex. I don't know what happened to her, but yeah, just to see if what would come up. What do you think, Wolflink? What are you talking about there? Let's see. Oh, Wolflink, you haven't seen Walking Dead? Oh, that is. Oh my gosh, you've got to go see. You've got to see that. It is a TV series that is. Oh my gosh, that was just amazing. I love Walking Dead. My favorite show is when, oh gosh, Beth. When Beth was killed, I think I cried for 4 days. So, but yeah, Urban, go look at Darlie Routier. The Innocence Project has her case too. And they also have the Stephen Avery case. Those are two cases that, you can sit on the fence with because the evidence is so. I mean, like Stephen Avery case, I really believe that they framed him that second time because they knew it would stick easy. Hello, Alex. I think you're muted. Hey, there you are. I think that I think I'm interested because of me thinking that Darlie was guilty, and now I think that she's innocent. But now I'm like sitting, waiting for that evidence to be presented because that could take me in either direction. Stephen Avery, same there. I could go in either direction there. So, oh no, I don't think Mark Gillespie, is that his name? Gillespie. He's not in either one of those cases. I don't think. I don't. He had something. Well, Stephen Avery case. I don't know. I think that I don't know. He might have had. I think that he might have just talked about it. I don't think that he had anything to do with that. But no, I haven't heard of him having anything to do with it. Now, let's see. Stephen Avery's lawyer. Let's see, what is her name? I had her name earlier. She's amazing. But I don't. I had it here. I guess I don't have it now. But she's amazing, and she's got a lot of people off death row and gotten them released from prison. A lot of them. I just think that it's sad. I think that Stephen Avery deserves this day in court because he was put in there 18 years for something he didn't do. And I just think that yes, Brandon was coerced. He was. That's the kid, Alex. Now, I think he deserves his day in court because I do believe that they planted a bunch of stuff. Because I think that they thought that it was just as easy to get him and close their case. They did it so easily the first time that why not? And if this is the case now, I mean, like, if Brandon's, is it Brandon's dad or uncle? It's one dad or uncle, something. If he's the one that was pushing that Rav for that morning, that means that he had something to do with it.
Hey,
So-
you're breaking up. I guess where I was muted, Irvin. I think it's where I was muted. It was making your connection bad. I didn't know that's what it was. Bentley was having a bad nightmare, so I had to mute the phone. He's still in there panicking.
Wow.
I don't know
I'm sorry.
why. He didn't
Okay.
nap today, so he passed out early. But I think to see if that made it better, where you guys can hear me
Wolfland
better.
said, "Hi, Bentley."
Yeah, he's in there going like shaking and everything.
Wolfland said hi to Bentley. Okay, Wolfland. Now, yeah, Stephen Avery's his uncle. So, his dad
Hold
is the one that they're accusing that testified against Stephen Avery, right? Is that right? Oh no. But Brandon, his IQ he had some learning disabilities and everything. He should have at least the Chucky dolls. Yeah, they have a lot of, she likes those. I collect clowns, and it was so funny because her and her kids like clowns too. Mine and my kids do too. I have a lot of clowns. But I can't have them now. They're in storage because I got married to my husband. He doesn't like them too much.
I better go because he will not come
Okay.
down, and I can't use the phone.
I'm going to get off here too. I mean, that
Thank
dinner.
you for having me. It was fun. I
Thank you for
enjoyed it
being
so
here.
much.
Love you very much. Thank you.
I love you. And I will talk to you guys all soon. Thank you guys. Thank you, Cheryl, so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Love
Appreciate
you. Bye.
it. I know, they say that clowns trip people out. Yeah. But yes, this was fun. We'll have to do this. Wolflink, we're going to be looking for some volunteers to up some of our groups. So if you would be interested, you email Alex, let her know, because she's fixing to post it. So thank you, Wolflink, for being here. Appreciate it. Irvin, love you. Thank you for being here. And I will get that information to you, I promise. Since I have your email now. And I hope y'all come back next time. So until next time, we're going to build a better community, right? Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night.